Ever since the Revolution, when muskets were the steady companions of Continental Army riflemen, efforts have been made by the United States government to continuously improve the performance of military firearms. In 1777, the first official muskets were built in Springfield, Massachusetts. Only accurate to about 50 yards, their limited range challenged weapon makers to develop a firearm that could be more accurate at much greater ranges. In 1841, a rifled musket, popularly known as the Mississippi rifle, became the first percussion-designed firearm. That breakthrough led 10 years later to a weapon that could hit a target out to 300 yards, the mini-ball rifle, which was made famous during the Civil War. The breech-loading metallic cartridge rifle that became known as the 45-70 was adopted in 1873 and became the official issue of American soldiers during the Indian Wars. Adopted just in time for the Spanish-American War of 1898 was a bolt-action, magazine-fed weapon made by Krag Jorgensen. Unfortunately, soldiers armed with the new Krags found that they were being outranged and outshot by the German-developed Mauser. In 1904, a modified German Mauser, chambered with a new 30-caliber rimless cartridge, was issued, but proved little better than the Krag. It wasn't until 1906 when a new bullet based on the pointed Spitzer was developed, resulting in the World War I Springfield rifle. The M1 Garand rifle, first introduced in 1936, replaced the Springfield. Featuring a gas-operated rotating bolt, the 30-caliber firearm was a steady performer during both World War II and Korea. Replacing the M1 in 1957 was the lighter M14, a 7.62 millimeter rifle with a detachable 20-round magazine, which could fire both single shots and automatically. 20 years later, a 5.56 millimeter rifle, the M16, with an effective range of 460 meters, replaced the M14 and became the soldier's best friend in Vietnam. It fired the lighter ammunition much faster. In its second improvement, the M16A2 now has an effective range of 550 meters, making it one of the world's most effective combat rifles. Why then does the military need a new rifle if the M16 meets its toughest combat standards? Because riflemen will need a weapon with significantly higher hit probability on the projected highly lethal battlefield of the 21st century. Rifle effectiveness in combat is poor because targets are hard to find, aim at, and hit, especially when the shooter is exposed to life-threatening conditions. Thus, one way to significantly improve marksmanship is to improve the rifle. So, new evolutionary technologies must be examined today to meet tomorrow's needs. Under static test conditions, the M16 can hit a target the size of a kneeling man 100% of the time to ranges beyond 300 meters. Even at 700 meters, the probability of hit per trigger pull is greater than 60%. Even in an unstressed environment, when the M16 is placed in the hands of a shooter, its performance drops considerably beyond 100 meters. In the Army's Standard Record Fire Course, the probability of hitting targets at 300 meters is less than 70%. Under the added stress of combat, the military projects a much more significant drop-off in effectiveness, with only a 10% chance of hitting a 300-meter target. To meet this challenge, the Defense Department has begun an intensive search for a weapon technology that will at least double the effectiveness of the rifleman in combat. The Army, acting as the lead agency in the Defense Department's Joint Service Small Arms Program, has contracted with 4 of the world's leading weapon designers to explore new technologies. One way to increase hit probability is to fire more than one projectile per trigger pull. If the dispersion of these projectiles can be controlled to compensate for aiming error, the probability of at least one hit will be significantly increased. All four advanced combat rifle concepts incorporate multiple launch systems. The prototypes were developed by AAI Corporation of Hunt Valley, Maryland, Colt Industries of Hartford, Connecticut, Heckler & Koch of West Germany, and Steyr-Mannlicher of Austria. AAI's prototype fires 3 distinct rounds in